Tonight, let's welcome to the show Kyle Padron, quarterback for the Eastern Washington Eagles. Kyle, thanks for coming on.
Appreciate you having me.
Now, Kyle, you're coming off one of the most impressive games a quarterback has had all season long with 358 yards and 6 touchdowns in a 51-35 win over Illinois State last Saturday. Talk to us a bit about getting in that zone and throwing for 6 TDs.
It was just a fun game. They were a tough defense, and they presented us with some tough matchups, but you know, I have some pretty good receivers outside. Brandon Coffin being 6'5", and then Nick Edwards and Greg Hurd as well. A bunch of guys that can make plays for me. So I think they did more of the work than I did. Just kind of threw them the ball, and they broke some tackles and went for the score.
Well, Kyle, I have to say, first of all, that is an awesome picture behind you. What a lovely interpretation of the last summer. But let's project forward. Your team is set to face off in the FCS Semifinals against Sam Houston State. How are you preparing for this game?
You know, just like every other week, it's just another football game. You know, obviously they're a great team. Anytime you're in the Final Four, it says something about your program. But them specifically, they're very fast on defense. They're going to present another big challenge for us. They're going to play man-to-man and try and take away our targets and force us to throw balls down the field. So we just have to be efficient with the offense and take what they give us, but we'll take our shots as well.
Now, Kyle, we've seen a couple highlights playing with the surface of your field that definitely comes to people's attention. You see the red turf. Do you hear opponents complaining often about having to play on that red turf at Roos Field?
I haven't heard anybody complain. I know a couple weeks ago we played against Wagner from New York, and they seemed pretty thrilled to be on the field, pretty excited. They thought it was a unique situation and, you know, something they could tell their kids about in the future. And I think it brings that, you know, kind of home field advantage for us as well, though. People get a little distracted by the red turf, and it, you know, kind of puts the, you know, the game on our side.
But, Kyle, how about that? You never lose receivers in the turf?
No. We won red the last 2 weeks. I think it kind of helps us out and maybe, you know, takes away from the psyche of the other team and, you know, presents a bigger challenge for them. They're thinking about it while we're just going out there and playing.
See, I told you he wouldn't have a problem picking up receivers in that turf. He's not buying in. All right, Kyle, you've had previous success at the QB position for SMU, but you decided to transfer to Eastern Washington. What kind of made that process happen?
You know, I just decided to, you know, there were other options out there for me. It was, you know, a personal decision, nothing, you know. I appreciate everything SMU did for me. I had a great time there, but I wanted to, you know, seek out other options. And Bo Levi Mitchell, the quarterback that I actually replaced when he got hurt, he called me when I got my release and just said I needed to check it out, meet the coaches. And I came up here on a visit in January of last year and, you know, fell in love with the place. The coaching staff is awesome. They're a bunch of fiery group of guys, and it's, you know, just a blessing to be a part of this football team.
That's great, Kyle. I also fell in love last year. It didn't work out. But I did read online that Eastern Washington is putting out ads calling all people who can play an instrument to show up at your playoff game this Saturday. I am an award-winning vuvuzela player, all right? I was able to really get down at the World Cup, and I want to come to Eastern Washington. How do I sign up?
I can get you in touch with Coach Baldwin. I'm sure he'd love to have you there, but I think there's an NCAA rule you can't have artificial noisemakers, so you're going to have to play actual instrument rather than a vuvuzela.
For people that want to see playoffs at the FBS level, talk a little bit about the playoff atmosphere at this point in the season. How exciting is it?
I'm enjoying it. I got to play in a bowl game, or a couple of them when I was at SMU, but you know, I'm really enjoying the process of going through the playoffs and, you know, not knowing if you're going to be able to play next week. And it just makes it a little bit more fun, in my opinion. Every game means a little bit more, and the fans, they love it. We've had a great home crowd the last 2 weeks, and we're looking forward to another one this weekend.
Well, let me tell you, Kyle, if it was up to me, SMU would get the death penalty again for letting you leave.
That's right. Kyle Padron, Eastern Washington quarterback. Good luck in the playoffs the rest of the way. Go for that title.
You are watching Unite, ESPN's very first late-night show. Make sure you watch every weeknight at midnight on ESPNU and tell your friends. Hit us on Twitter @Unite and like us all on Facebook.